soldiers, civilians, and families of the U.S. Army Intelligence Center of Excellence, welcome to the 2018 Military Intelligence Hall of Fame induction ceremony. At this time, we would like to share some words from our Arizona congressional delegates. First, a letter from Senator John McCain, followed by a video address from Congresswoman Martha McSally. To the men and women of the Military Intelligence Hall of Fame, congratulations to the 5 new inductees into the Military Intelligence Hall of Fame. On behalf of a grateful nation, I want to thank each one of you for your unwavering commitment, dedication, and service to the Military Intelligence Corps. I congratulate you on earning this distinct honor. These men have taught us, all of us, that there is nothing nobler than to serve a cause greater than self-interest. Their example will continue to inspire current and future generations of Americans to live bravely, purposefully, and selflessly.
I would like to take the opportunity to congratulate the class of 2018 on your induction into the Military Intelligence Hall of Fame. As a retired Air Force colonel with 26 years in uniform, I know firsthand how critical you are to our national security. I have personally relied on valuable information from intelligence professionals like you while flying in combat and leading other operational missions overseas. Congratulations to the 5 new members of the Military Intelligence Hall of Fame, and a humble thank you to all the military and civilian personnel, and especially your families, for your service, your patriotism, and your dedication to protect our great nation.
The Secretary of the Army, Mark Esper, and Chief of Staff of the Army, General Milley, continue to highlight that their primary focus is readiness. The first inductee built standards into one of our national training centers to allow units to become combat ready.
Colonel Robert Roos, U.S. Army, retired. Robert Roos enlisted in the U.S. Army in 1969 and a year later graduated from the Officer Candidate School with a commission as a second lieutenant in military intelligence. He spent the first decade of his career alternating between operational and institutional assignments.
Initially, I served as a commissioned officer, as a TAC officer in the engineer OCS, so I didn't get my intelligence experience early on. Then the OCS at Fort Belvoir, the Combat Engineer OCS, was closing, and so I had to go get intelligence training, for which I had done. And then in addition to that, I had to obviously leave and catch that training.
The 1st Armored Division Artillery S2, he was one of the first MI officers to serve as a Maneuver S2 in the forward deployed divisions in U.S. Army Europe. After 3 years at the U.S. Army Security Agency Training Center and School, Fort Devens, he served 4 years as G3 Electronic Warfare Officer at 7 Corps. He then spent 3 years at the Command and General Staff College instructing future senior leaders to embrace intelligence as the first element in operational planning. Colonel Roos retired from active duty in 1999 and served an additional 15 years as a Defense Intelligence Senior Level Leader at TRADOC, retiring again in 2015. Colonel Roos's awards include the Defense Superior Service Medal, Legion of Merit, Bronze Star, Meritorious Service Medal, Army Commendation Medal, and the Army Achievement Medal.
We welcome Colonel Roos into the MI Hall of Fame with the presentation of his certificate. Our second 2018 inductee is Lieutenant Colonel Ellis Atchison.
U.S. Army, retired, deceased. Ellis Atchison enlisted in the Army in 1940 and graduated from Officer Candidate School in 1942.
Colonel Dudley decided that this man could help him, and so he told him that if he would join the Army, that he would put him in charge of the communication center. So he got there and he took him in the comm center, and he told everybody, he said, "This is Private Atchison, and as of this day, he is in charge of this communication center, regardless of rank."
He was assigned as a radio intelligence officer to the newly constituted 138th Signal Radio Intelligence Company, later redesignated the 1st Army Air Force Radio Squadron, Mobile, JRSM, which was sent to Port Moresby, New Guinea in 1943. Lieutenant Colonel Atchison's military awards and decorations include the Bronze Star for his 27 months in the Southwest Pacific, and the Army Commendation Medal. Lieutenant Colonel Atchison passed away in May 2016 at the age of 100.
For many years, I felt like Colonel Atchison was deserving of this honor. He was such an educator, he was such an innovator, he was such a good leader of men.
The MI Hall of Fame with the presentation of his certificate to his widow, Mrs. Jean Atchison. Our third 2018 inductee is Chief Warrant Officer 5, Paul O'Meara.
Paul O'Meara enlisted in the Army in 1981 and served his first 9 years as a nuclear weapons specialist. He became a warrant officer in 1988 and then transitioned into military intelligence as a counterintelligence agent and human intelligence collector. He recruited the very best warrant officers with recent combat experience to instruct, and then overhauled the course material within warrant officer professional military education courses. He also extended the Warrant Officer Advanced Course from 4 to 6 weeks to incorporate focused training on the complex technical skills within each respective military occupational specialty or career. He continues to support the intelligence community in human intelligence collection operations for the Department of Homeland Security's Central Region. CW5 O'Meara's military awards include the Combat Action Badge, Legion of Merit, Bronze Star, Defense Meritorious Service Medal, Joint Service Commendation Medal, Army Commendation Medal, and the Army Achievement Medal.
Being nominated, just being nominated for the Hall of Fame is humbling. First, not knowing I was even put in for it, and then selected was none feeling. And so I'm humbled by it, by all means.
We welcome Chief Warrant Officer 5 O'Meara into the MI Hall of Fame with the presentation of his certificate. Our fourth 2018 inductee is Command Sergeant Major Denis Rydell.
Denis Rydell began his military career as a Marine in 1977. By 1980, he had transitioned to the U.S. Army, completed signals intelligence training, and was serving as a senior non-Morse intercept operator in Eastern Europe.
I didn't actually choose my military intelligence profession, it chose me. When I transferred services, I went down to the MEP station as a prior service soldier, and our options were very limited. And when I went down there, I really went down to be a combat engineer. And when I got down there, my recruiter said, "Hey, I need you to come back in this room and take this one test, and then we'll let you become a combat engineer." Little to my knowledge, I was going in and take the Morse code test. So I went and took the Morse code test. When I came back out, my options became even more limited. I offered the non-Morse intercept operator or the Morse intercept operator. So military intelligence really chose me. I did not choose military intelligence.
Command Sergeant Major Rydell retired in 2007, culminating a 30-year military career. He continues to support Army intelligence as the senior civilian advisor in the 116th MI Brigade, Fort Gordon, Georgia. Command Sergeant Major Rydell's military awards include the Legion of Merit, Bronze Star, and Meritorious Service Medal, 4th Award.
Major General Walters called me at my house to inform me. At first was kind of taken back because I was actually humbled, extremely humbled. But the first thing that ran through my mind was all the soldiers and leaders that got me here. This wasn't a induction of Sergeant Major Rydell into the Hall of Fame. It was Sergeant Major Rydell and all the soldiers that put me here. So this is probably the highest honor I've ever received in my life, next to the honor of being interviewed for soldiers in the
We welcome Master Sergeant Major Rydell into the MI Hall of Fame with the presentation of his certificate. Our final 2018 inductee is Mr. Michael Warnock.
Michael Warnock enlisted in the Army in 1968. After initially training as a personnel specialist, he transitioned to military intelligence in 1972, becoming a counterintelligence agent. He was one of the first automated data processing focused CI agents and used those skills to develop a CI terrorist threat database that drove the Allied Command Europe capability to counter emerging threats. His military awards include the Legion of Merit, Bronze Star, Meritorious Service Medal, Joint Service Commendation Medal, Army Commendation Medal, Joint Service Achievement Medal, and the Army Achievement Medal. As a civilian, he also received the Meritorious Civilian Service Medal, the Superior Civilian Service Medal, Joint Civilian Service Commendation Award, and the Commander's Award for Civilian Service, as well as the Armed Forces Civilian Service Medal.
As far as Mike being inducted into the Hall of Fame, I have mixed emotions. I'm happy, I'm ecstatic, it's well-earned, well-deserved, but I'm also sad that Mike's not around to actually enjoy the induction ceremony. I know he would hate it. He wouldn't want to be here at Huachuca. He would not want to participate, but that's just Mike's nature. He was quiet, unassuming, but he was the consummate professional who always got the job done.
We welcome Mr. Warnock into the MI Hall of Fame with the presentation of his certificate to his widow, Mrs. Linda Warnock. On behalf of the grateful Military Intelligence Corps, we thank each of the inductees for their distinguished service. Please join me in a round of applause for our 2018 inductees.